Talking about that absolute garbage that we were subjected to last night in the form of Thursday Night Football. Don't get me wrong. I expected absolutely nothing from last night. Well, other than extreme ass from both teams. But I was expecting absolutely nothing from last night, and somehow I got even less than that. I mean, trust this. Believe me when I tell you this. The last thing I want to do is come in here every single Friday and go off about how crappy Thursday Night Football is. It's the last thing I want to do. However, I have to do it first thing because it's my job. There's no way I can talk about that bleep show without crapping all over that bleep show because it was crap. And if I'm going to sit through that crap like that, then I'm going to call it for what it is. Yes, Washington won that game. I guess, technically, that's what the scoreboard said. Somebody wins, somebody loses, unless there's a tie. So yes, I'll give them that. They won, except nobody deserved to win that game. And we all deserved a hell of a lot better than we got. So the Commanders are probably feeling pretty good about themselves. They came in having lost 4 in a row. And most of all, they will tell you, we're not going to apologize for that win. We're not going to apologize for how that looks. Now, let me tell you something. You should. You should apologize. You owe all of us an apology. Anyone who had anything to do with that game owes us an apology. In fact, I want a personal apology. Anybody who coached, anybody who played, anybody who had anything to do with the broadcast owes us an apology because that was several hours of ass, historic ass.
Serial ass.
I mean, how many times in a lifetime, much less in a single season or even a single month, can I say that was the worst game I have ever witnessed in my entire life? And mean it. And it was, and I do. Like the Commanders, they're just bad. They're really bad. They're just not as bad as Chicago, who is pretty much the worst. Like, I'm not really sure why I'm taking this so personally. I really don't know. Why am I taking this so personally? I don't know. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Because that's time and money wasted that I will never, ever get back. I am taking it personally. I'm taking it personally because the product is ass. Let me tell you something. If I showed up here, if I showed up like that once a week, every single week, and I gave you the jungle equivalent of that, how pissed would you be? And you'd have every right to be. Am I overreacting? Hell no. I'm not. I know I'm not. Carson Wentz didn't even throw for 100 yards. The Bears outgained Washington by nearly 180 yards. The Commanders were pitiful, but somehow, some way, Chicago found a way to lose because they always do. As always, they do. They found a way to lose. But you know, the biggest loser of all in all of this, all of us. Me, or didn't they fire Coach Pennis? I thought they ran Coach Pennis. Can anybody spot a single difference in this Bears team? Perfect example of what I'm talking about. The muff. The muff. The muff that ruined the game for Chicago. That was an extremely Coach Pennis thing to have happen and an extremely fitting turning point for this horror show of a game. So on brand. So on brand for that franchise. And that right there is the only reason Washington even found the end zone, because of a muff. That muff was Washington's best offense all season. Washington fan should start a new chant. That chant should just be muff, 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 muff. Because that's their best offense. That's their best hope. That's the only way they're getting into the end zone. Like, there was no way that garbage was not going to have a garbage moment in the way of a muff that would kill a team and gift the other a free 6. I knew that was going to happen. Just like I knew somebody would drop a potential game-winning TD. That also happened. I knew both of these things would happen. I just didn't know which team would do it. Honestly, I thought that both teams would be muffing and dropping TD passes. Yeah, but give the Commanders this. Give them this. They know they're the Commanders. They know they can't move the ball. They know that was their best and only chance to house anything at all. So credit, I guess, for recognizing and then cashing that lottery ticket that they were holding in their hand. Then right after the muff, Wentz actually made his best play of the year. His best play of the year. Not just the game, but his best play of the year. Now, of course, when I say that, I'm not talking about some dime he threw over the top. I'm not talking about some scramble. It was a block. His finest moment this year was a block on a running play. I mean, it was a hell of a block. This guy may be ass for a quarterback, but that was a hell of a block. And on a hell of a player, no less. It all makes so much sense now. The dude is a fullback. He's been out of position all along. So Washington runs it in on the next play, and that, of course, was enough to win that slop fest. Of course, Chicago did get one more look at the end zone and the win, and of course, they used that opportunity to puke all over themselves and take a big, giant dump in their pants at the goal line. So you know what that was? That was the very best ending to the very worst game. And the third time, the Bears managed to take a big dump in their pants inside the 5.
A big dump in your pants.
You imagine getting inside the 5 3 different times and having nothing to show for it except a big dump in your pants.
A big dump in your pants.
3 times they were goal to go inside the 5. And not against a good team either. And they turned those 3 opportunities into 0 points and a gigantic dump in their pants.
Dump in your pants.
I mean, that's not just bad. That is impressively bad. Kind of like Justin Fields himself. Like, I don't want to beat this guy up too much. And in the past, I've actually hyped this guy. I don't want to beat him up too much because dude got his ass beat plenty on the field last night. Check this out. According to ESPN stats and info, quote, Justin Fields was pressured 18 times tonight, tied for the most in a game in his career. Fields has now been pressured on 46% of his dropbacks this season. The highest rate of a pressure a quarterback has faced in the first 6 games of a season since ESPN began tracking pressures in 2009. Dude, that is a crazy number. Like, literally, every other time he drops back to pass, he is running for his life. He has a chance to die. A chance to, thank you, have somebody say, hey, we never know when it's our time, but it's his time to die. Like, in other words, he's getting the crap knocked out of him every single time he steps on the field. So I'm going to give this guy some credit for grit.
For real.
However, 0 credit for missing wide-ass open dudes in the end zone. 0 credit for bouncing a pass off a D lineman's helmet at the goal line. 0 credit for going 14 of 27 for 190 and a TD and a pick. I understand that this dude is getting no help, but he's not helping himself either. Now, enough about that garbage. The game actually got upstaged twice yesterday. First by that bombshell ESPN report about Dan Snyder and the dossiers of dirt that he's got on the owners and also on the commissioner, and his love for Carson Wentz. Then the game got upstaged once again by Ron Rivera after the game reacting to that ESPN bombshell report.